I've never seen a real UFO video. I think they're all fake.
We all want to see something unexplainable. Are these plausibly something unexplained? Is somebody faking it? Or is it just a trick of the lens? Let's see what we got.
Throughout our lifetime, we all have seen something that might seem ordinary at first glance, but quickly becomes concerning as we try to understand what we're looking at. These photos and videos act as evidence, strengthening the belief that we might not be alone in the universe after all. While a lot of critics always propose that there is a logical explanation, these explanations sound like cover-ups, trying to hide the real truth of the world. Join us as we look at some of the most convincing pictures and videos of extraterrestrial life that might be living among us. Number 1. George Adamski. George Adamski, born in Poland in 1891, was an author who became well known among the UFO conspiracy theorists after revealing some riveting pictures. Adamski had multiple claims of being contacted by aliens, as well as having taken pictures of UFOs. One of his most famous claims is that he was contacted by a being from the planet Venus. This took place in a desert in California, and the being communicated with Adamski in a combination of sign language and telepathy. He also stated that the Venusian had human-like features, but his beauty was far superior to anyone on Earth. Adamski stated, "The beauty of his form surpassed anything I have ever seen, and the pleasantness of his face freed me of all thought of my personal self." The famous picture he took dates back to 13th December 1952, which he claims is the scout ship that the Venusians used to travel to Earth. However, some have claimed that this photograph was faked, saying that it resembles a close-up shot of a surgical lamp, but no one has been able to concretely debunk it as of yet. Number 2. Stephenville UFO. 15 years ago, a small town in Texas known as Stephenville was shocked as they witnessed strange white objects flying in the sky. Dozens of residents of Stephenville reported in January 2008 that they saw these objects flying in an arc formation at first, but they quickly arranged themselves in two parallel lines. Each line was estimated to be a mile long. The most weirdest fact about this encounter was that they seemed to be flying at the same speed as a fighter jet, but made no sound at all. The US government stated that this could simply be a flight operation, but the residents were not convinced at all, stating a phenomenon as such has never been witnessed in history. Number 3. Levelland UFO sighting. Another case of UFO sighting from the state of Texas comes from the town of Levelland. Back on the date of 2nd November 1957, on the highways around Levelland, a disc-shaped UFO was sighted buzzing through the air. It was reported to be making a humming sound as it passed by. Several residents claimed to have seen lights flashing in the sky, as well as the object. The first report came in was by two immigrant farm workers, Pedro Saucedo and Joe Salaz, who had been driving for miles before their truck died. After a while, they noticed a blue flash as well as a rocket-shaped object rise from the ground and approach the truck. The truck's engine restarted after that. Interestingly, another motorist named Jim Wheeler was also having difficulties with his vehicle as he saw a brilliantly lit egg-shaped object, in his own words. And once that object took off, his car started working normally. Several other cases were reported just as these on that exact day, and it had left the individuals baffled, even becoming a major story in the US and gathering national publicity. What this object was still remains a mystery. Number 4. New Jersey motorway UFO sighting. On 14th July 2001, motorists traveling on the New Jersey Turnpike were baffled when they looked up at the sky and saw a strange string of lights flying in a V formation. For around 15 minutes, the onlookers took pictures and videos of the bright lights flying above them, and it can clearly be seen as a string of strange orange and yellow lights that seem distinctly different from any aircraft. The V formation and the synchronicity of the flight pattern make it even more eerie, giving the depiction that it is one big mothership. The air traffic controllers initially denied it entirely, stating that no such object was flying that could have caused this mysterious light formation, even though dozens of people from every walk of life had experienced this spectacle. The New York Strange Phenomenon Investigators, a group known for studying strange happenings such as this, reported that they did receive radar data that night, which corroborates with all the stories. Could this have been a major UFO sighting the government tried to cover up later on? Some might adamantly argue that's the truth. Number 5. Chicago O'Hare International Airport UFO sighting. On 7th of November 2006, a strange occurrence took place at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport. As Flight 446 was getting ready to take off, a United Airlines employee noticed a dark metallic aircraft hovering over one of the gates. After this, a total of 11 workers at the airport claimed they all noticed this aircraft, and an additional 4 more came forward who were just passing by. All the 15 observers claimed that the strange craft just floated in the air for roughly 5 minutes and shot up at an incredibly high speed, up into the sky. This speed was claimed to be so intense that it left a punch hole in the clouds where the UFO exited. A grainy picture of this incident spread throughout the masses like wildfire, and this story soon became international news and was investigated later on. However, no explanation has ever been given to what it could have been, and it has been chalked up to a strange weather phenomenon. Number 6. Boyd Bushman photos. Boyd Bushman was a former senior aerospace engineer at Lockheed Martin, a leading global security and aerospace company. Bushman claimed just before his death, in 2013, that during his time working in Area 51, he collected pictures of aliens. These pictures show extraterrestrial beings with the typical giant heads and small stature of gray aliens that can be seen in movies and other forms of media. In these pictures, many people claimed that the aliens looked like cheap props that could be bought from any Halloween store. However, he claimed that they were actual alien life forms from other planets. He also insisted that these aliens were over 100 years old and came from the planet of Quintumnia, further stating that some of them even worked for Area 51. As stated before, Boyd Bushman died soon after that interview at the age of 78, taking all his well-kept secrets along with the authenticity of the pictures to his grave. Number 7. Steve Barone UFO. In 2019, a resident of Nevada named Steve Barone noticed something very peculiar moving across the sky. He quickly grabbed his camera and started recording videos, as well as taking zoomed-in pictures of this mysterious object. The object can be seen clearly as a bright, glowing, orb-like structure, moving in random directions at a very fast speed. At first it was believed that this could have been a satellite, but later on, its rapid, random movements proved that this does not seem like any form of satellite ever deployed. At one point, the bright orb stands still for a few moments, before it zips back on the same path it came from. The object was noticed to be much higher than any drone could be, and its movements were completely different from the movements of any human-made aircraft, which makes it one of the most convincing footage of UFOs out there. Number 8. Pentagon UFO footage. On December 16, 2017, the Pentagon declassified 3 videos, stating that they do not recognize what this object is. These videos were taken using infrared cameras and gimbal of fighter jets worth millions of dollars. This means that there is no way to deny that the videos have been faked in any shape or form. These videos show a small, tic-tac-shaped object flying through the sky at ultra-high speeds without the presence of any form of propulsion system. Naval aviators can be heard in awe, looking at that object, bewildered by its ability to defy the laws of physics. Within seconds, it was said to have disappeared right in front of their own eyes. What this object was still remains a mystery, but one thing is certain from this release, that we definitely might not be alone as we used to think. Number 9. USS Nimitz UFO incident. In 2004, one of the best documented UFO sightings took place. A fighter jet from the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier, stationed off the coast of San Diego, California, came in contact with an unidentified object zipping through the sky as well as underwater at unimaginable speed. The fighter jet was able to catch the image of the object on its infrared camera. It was observed as a small egg-shaped object, which came out of the water. 2 F-18 jets tried to intercept the UFO, or at least tried to get a much clearer picture of what it was right before it dipped back into the water, moving at 3 times the speed of sound. The infrared images clearly show that this object had no exhaust and was said to make no sound at all. Most fighter jet pilots would suggest that an object moving at that speed is either a piece of human technology, decades beyond what we currently have, or is otherworldly. The amount of G-force that would be forced upon the pilot flying that craft would be enough to turn any human being into a pile of mush, according to U.S. fighter pilot David Fravor. The question that arises here is, if this wasn't something that our current technology can make, and our pilots can't withstand, then what really is it? Number 10. Ancient Sumerian tablets. Sumer is known as the earliest civilization ever recorded in history. It is said that this was the seed that later on sprouted various cultures and innovated languages and architecture. In simpler words, it formed the first blueprint of what a functional civilization looks like. In order to document their lives, they even left behind multiple tablets detailing their stories and concepts widely believed by their people. Among these tablets are some that present a picture of our solar system, and some that show a massive, tall being with the head of an eagle, including other creatures. Could this have been an early extraterrestrial who visited Earth and taught the people of Sumer how to form functional civilizations? Astrophysicist Carl Sagan seems to consider this as a possibility, stating that the tale of Oannes deserves more careful study. According to the story of Oannes, a being who seemed to have the head of a fish on top of the head of a man and feet of a human, subjoined by a fish's tail, bestowed upon the early Sumerians insight into letters and sciences. He taught them how to construct houses, make laws, and explain to them the principles of geometrical knowledge. Could this have been a visitor from another planet who helped mankind in their infancy to form their first civilization? Some people believe it is. Number 11. The Madonna with Saint Giovannino. In another form of art, not as old as the Sumerians, let's visit the 15th century painting of Madonna with Saint Giovannino by Domenico Ghirlandaio. At first glance, you might see an average painting, nothing that makes it stand out from other 15th century paintings from Italy. But on closer inspection, everyone seems to notice this one blob floating in the background. It looks like a suspended UFO emitting bright beams of light. And this is what convinces some conspiracy theorists that there might be some form of hidden meaning that the artist was trying to convey. In the painting, a man is also seen who seems to be pointing towards the object and a dog barking at it. However, very little can be understood about it. From the point of view of the critics of this conspiracy, this could just be Christian iconography, misunderstood as extraterrestrial life by our 21st century UFO believers. Number 12. Sergio Loaiza's National Geographic UFO image. This next image comes from a very reputable source, the National Geographic. Aerial photographer Sergio Loaiza took a photo as he flew over Costa Rica in September 1971 on a mission to survey land for the construction of a hydroelectric project. Loaiza took multiple high-resolution pictures from an altitude of 10,000 feet. In one of the pictures taken by Loaiza, a shiny metallic disc can be seen flying beneath his aircraft. The object was estimated to be between 120 to 220 feet in diameter. Initially, the photo seemed to be not very clear, but once it was enhanced, the object could be clearly noticed as a UFO. This picture was originally the property of the National Geographic Costa Rica, and now has been released to the people. Many claim that this image is tampered with, but others, such as UFO researcher Ricardo Vilches, Dr. Richard Haynes, and Dr. Jacques Vallée, have concluded that the image isn't fake, and the object that appears in the image was not the result of a double exposure either. Number 13. The most beautiful alien picture ever taken. A retired Royal Air Force officer took a picture in 2004 while he was on vacation in Sri Lanka. What he saw can only be described as multicolored rings passing through the sky. It had hues of orange and pink, purple and white, and it seemed it had zipped across the sky like other UFO sightings. Later on, this image was submitted to the Royal Air Force Flying Dales Base in North Yorkshire, England, where it was later on turned into a classified document. This image later on became declassified and has various theories that range from strange weather phenomena to a light illusion. However, no one has been able to really give any concrete explanation for what it could have been. Regardless if you believe that these pictures are truly signs of actual extraterrestrial life living among us, or are actually photoshopped by individuals who only focus on tinfoil hats and conspiracy theories, one fact remains the same. They are enough to make any logical human being to ponder what the nature of reality truly is. Maybe we do have outsiders from different planets living within our civilizations for centuries. Or maybe we are just experiencing a very unique phenomenon for the very first time. Thank you for watching.